WNDU-TV, Channel 16, South Bend.
Malcolm, how long are you going to let this go on?
What do you want me to do, Chris? I'm locked into this thing. He won't talk to anybody else.
It's turned into a collaboration.
Mariel Hemingway and Kurt Russell are threatened by a killer who keeps murdering people in The Mean Season, one of the new movies we'll be reviewing this week on At the Movies, the movie review program. I'm Gene Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune.
And I'm Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times. In addition to The Mean Season, we'll also be reviewing The Breakfast Club, movie about 5 totally different teenagers who get to know each other during a long day in detention. And we'll also take a look at a new process that they say will turn black and white movies into color. But first, Gene starts with Heaven Help Us.
Heaven Help Us is a good idea gone bad, a tribute to the pains and pleasures, mostly the pains, of growing up in a strict Catholic boys' high school in Brooklyn in the 1960s. Now, if only this film had taken itself more seriously, it could have been a winner. It has an interesting premise. It starts out, promisingly enough, introducing us to a gentle new kid in town and the local tough guy who share some thoughts about becoming friends with each other, and then they meet an attractive neighborhood girl.
You jumped me in front of everybody. You made me look pretty stupid. I got a safe face. If I don't make you my friend, that means I gotta kick your every time I see you. Now, nobody wants that to happen, right? So what do you say, huh? Let's give it a try. Come on. You know, Don, I always liked you.
Hey, Dan. Hey, where's your old man? How come I haven't seen him lately?
You want something?
Yeah, I want you, babe.
Order something or get lost, okay?
All right, get me a pack of Luckies and a Coke for my new friend here. My treat. You're done. Do not waste your time with her. She's just 100% frustrated from spending all her time with her old man. I mean, she never made it with nobody. Not even me, if you can believe that.
Now, rather than stick with that interesting relationship, Heaven Help Us concentrates on the mindless comedy between the tough guy and the smartest, fattest kid in school.
What's the matter?
Thaddeus took me off track and field.
Why?
He heard me call Constance when we were kneeling in his office. I don't know how he did it, but he heard me.
He's omniscient.
Yeah, his mother's probably one, too. Anyway, he says I'm off track and field until I go apologize to Constance. So go apologize. Oh, sure. Go tell Constance I'm sorry. Call them. They'll cream my face. But without track and field, my grades will be based on my grades. That means I'm going to be in this damn school for the rest of my damn life.
So what are you going to do?
I'm going to study. Yeah, you think that's funny? Caesar, why don't you work with him?
Caesar doesn't work with morons.
Now, if more of the comedy worked, that would be okay, too. But I felt sort of sad watching Heaven Help Us because there are some very appealing young actors in this film, particularly Andrew McCarthy, the new kid in town there. Mary Stuart Masterson is the young woman behind the candy counter. But they aren't well served by essentially a pretty dumb comedy, and I feel bad about that because these are interesting characters, and they blew it.
Well, before the scenes of the movie, you said you wished it had been more serious. Now you say you wish it had been funnier. And, you know, I agree with you because this movie doesn't know which way to turn.
No.
It's got some very sadistic scenes in the classroom where those Catholic brothers are really beating up on those kids in a really cruel way. This looks like it's going to be a new version of some, you know, Children Behind Bars or something. Then you have the nostalgic 1960s kind of memory sort of thing.
Right.
If they'd gone either way, they could have decided which way to go.
Yeah.
With these actors, with the locations...
I'll tell you the other thing. If you're going to show that kind of serious beating of kids in school, then I think you're obliged to show some value in the Catholic school experience.
Right.
Because otherwise, it's a very cruel caricature, and there's no reason for these kids to be in the school. Their parents should get them out. They're just getting the hell beat out of them, and that's it.
I went to Catholic school. I recognized some moments like the little clickers the nuns used to have, and when you had to stand up and kneel during processions, they'd click, you know. Scenes like that, I thought, gee, I'm going to enjoy this movie. Then it just turned into a horror show. It was too bad. Next at the movies, Kurt Russell and Mariel Hemingway in a newspaper movie about a crazy killer.
I have a special interest in your stories.
Why is that?
Because it was me. I killed her.
Our next movie is named The Mean Season, and it stars Kurt Russell as a burnout Miami newspaper reporter who wants to abandon the big city and go to work for a little newspaper out in Colorado. Well, that sounds like a good idea to Russell's girlfriend, played by Mariel Hemingway. But before they can pack up and leave, a messy murder takes place, and the killer chooses Russell to be his link with the press. Here's the scene where Russell gets the first call from the killer.
Anderson. Yeah, hello.
Listen, I've been reading your stories about the murder of the young girl. Well written. I mean, they seem very accurate.
Well, I appreciate the call, and I am kind of busy right now.
I have a special interest in your stories.
Why is that?
Because it was me. I killed her.
Who is this?
You don't really expect me to answer that now, do you?
I don't know. It depends on why you call.
I mean, I get 30 calls like this every day, people claiming responsibility for anything. What makes you so different?
I called because I want to help you.
How could you help me?
Her right rear pocket.
Was there something in it?
Oh, I hope you're as bright as I assumed you were. Listen. Can you be at your phone at, say, 3 o'clock?
Hello?
Now, from that scene, you might think The Mean Season is going to be sort of a cross between Dirty Harry and All the President's Men. But the movie blows its chances of being a good newspaper film or a good thriller by using a lot of cheap shots. And I want to show you one of those cheap shots right now. I'm going to set it up. The killer is loose somewhere in the city. He has already threatened Mariel Hemingway. She gets in a fight with Kurt Russell, and she walks out of a fancy restaurant and into the night. She's all alone out there somewhere. And in this scene, he follows her out to the parking lot.
Too many creepy cab drivers.
Gee, that's really smart. Wouldn't you like your girlfriend to do that if there's a murderer loose in the city?
Yeah, she'd enjoy it when you put the gun to her face or something.
Yeah, that's really terrifically funny. A cornball phony suspense scene like that doesn't belong in a movie that takes itself seriously, but it's part of a pattern for The Mean Season. This movie even has a scene that rips off Psycho. Mariel Hemingway is taking a shower, and there's somebody sneaking into the bathroom. We get the point of view shot from the camera. We hear the boom, 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 Jaws-type suspense music, and then, what do you know? This time, it's only Kurt Russell. What does this movie have? Ambitions to be Friday the 13th, Part 6? By the end of the movie, there's no suspense because we know the gimmick, which is whatever we think has just happened, it hasn't happened, and we're going to be surprised that, gee, it's just the opposite way around.
And I'll tell you, I don't understand why they did this. When I saw the shower scene, in the fake Psycho shower scene here, I got so angry at this film because up to that point, now it's very early in the film, in the first reel, I think, up to that point, I thought, this is going to be good. This is just what I like. Thrillers, and it's about the business I'm in, newspapers, you're
Right.
in too. And I thought, what is that scene doing there? Now, what are we supposed to think? Gee, am I stupid? I was fooled? Is that supposed to be entertaining?
How many shower scenes have we seen like that in the last 10 years?
Let me get it. There are 4, I counted it. There are 4 scenes like this in the movie. 4 times we are fooled. Is this supposed to make us enjoy the movie more? No, you sit there thinking, I hate this movie. They're playing me for a sucker.
That's right. They think I've never seen a movie before.
Now,
They think I don't see the basic cliche here that's been recycled out of every teenage slasher movie the last 10 years.
Now, beyond that, I must say that any provocative issue here being raised, collusion between the media and the killer, is really kind of second place in this film. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Someone in the real world, someone would have stepped in much before people step in to solve this problem. I think it was the other story is badly done too.
Well, in that case, there's just almost nothing good about this movie except for its intentions and maybe some of the performances. I mean, could have been with a different
These are
script,
good actors.
Could have been a better movie. Coming up next at the movie, something rare, a serious teenage film.
Andrew Clark, get up here. Come on, front and center. Let's go.
Hey, how come Andrew gets to get up?
That's right.
If he gets up, we'll all get up. It'll be anarchy.